Torrential rains triggered enormous landslides in Indonesia, burying entire villages under thick layers of mud and debris. The unstable hillsides collapse, suddenly sending massive waves of earth rushing down into residential areas. And farmland roads and highways were completely followed by the landslides, cutting off access to remote villages and leaving thousands stranded in some areas. Rivers overflow due to the heavy rainfall, worsening the destruction and sweeping away homes and vehicles. Rescue teams struggle to navigate through the treacherous terrain as mud continue to slide, making the situation even more dangerous. Families fled their homes in panic as they heard the rumbling sound of the mountains breaking apart. Entire neighborhoods were buried within seconds, leaving only rooftops and tree branches sticking out from the thick mud. The landslides destroyed power lines, plunging entire communities into darkness. As emergency services rush to restore electricity, villagers desperately search for their belongings, digging through the debris with their bare hands in hopes of recovering what was lost. Roads leading to the affected areas were blocked by fallen trees, rocks, and deep layers of mud, delaying crucial aid deliveries. Local officials warned that the heavy rainfall could trigger even more landslides, forcing thousands to evacuate to safer ground. Oh my God! The destruction of bridges and key infrastructure made it nearly impossible for rescuers to reach the worst-hit regions. Quickly, survivors describe the terrifying moment when the ground beneath them suddenly shifted, sending shock waves through the wind. Entire farms were wiped out, leaving farmers without crops and livestock. Adding to the long-term devastation, helicopters were deployed to drop food, medicine, and supplies to isolated communities trapped by the landslides. The thick mud made rescue efforts extremely difficult, with workers sinking knee paw. They searched for survivors. Some areas were hit so hard that entire roads and landmarks disappeared under the landslide, changing the landscape. Forever emergency shelters were quickly set up, providing food, blankets, and medical aid to those who lost their homes. Landslides of this magnitude are becoming more frequent in Indonesia due to deforestation and climate change. Scientists warned that heavy rainfall and weakened soil conditions could lead to even more deadly landslides in the near future. The Indonesian government mobilized soldiers and volunteers to help clear debris and rebuild essential infrastructure. As the rain continued to pool, the risk of new landslides kept rescue teams on high alert. People across the country came together to offer donations, showing solidarity with those affected by the disaster. Rebuilding efforts will take months, if not years, but the resilience of the Indonesian people remains unshaken despite the devastation. survivors remain hopeful, determined to restore their homes and communities stronger than before. The skies opened, unleashing a relentless deluge that clawed at the already precarious hillsides of Indonesia. What followed was a nightmare unfolding in real time. Entire villages vanished beneath a suffocating blanket of mud and debris, swallowed whole by the earth's sudden, violent collapse. Imagine the terrifying roar as massive waves of earth, no longer held in place by the saturated slopes, surged down into residential areas and across vital farmland. The very arteries of these communities, roads and highways, were ripped apart, severed like lifelines, leaving remote villages tragically isolated, cut off from aid and connection in their darkest hour. The sheer scale of the devastation paints a stark picture of nature's raw power and the vulnerability of those in its path.
Oh, absolutely. You should totally argue with nature. Go right ahead. Tell that hurricane it's being too windy. Politely request the earthquake to maybe consider shifting its epicenter a few miles away from your house. Have a reasoned debate with the tsunami about the merits of higher ground. I'm sure the volcano will appreciate your well-researched PowerPoint presentation on why it shouldn't erupt right now. And don't forget to explain to that charging bear why you were just trying to take a selfie and not, be lunch. Nature is renowned for its calm demeanor and willingness to engage in logical discourse, especially when you're knee-deep in mud or being tossed around by gale-force winds. So, by all means, stand your ground and voice your grievances. I'm sure it will all work out wonderfully for you.